Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Trunkhead with Trunkhead Gaming. Today is the G-Man, the REL Division 4 and 5 recap for Week 4. With me, as always, Superfed. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Happy to be in the USA doing REL.
Yeah, man. 4th of July is coming up. Coming up.
It's a good
America.
weekend for it.
You just
Fuck
played.
yeah.
You just played your Week 5 game, right? You're way ahead of schedule.
I am. It's a
Over
good game too.
Overachievers, man. Overachievers. You guys get a chance to check out Superfed's TV. It's called Braziers. It's in Division 3. He's a 1920 orc team. That is disgusting. Should not be allowed. Anyway, let's go ahead and start Division 5. First game up, we had C-137 versus Cash Crew Part 2, Undead versus Humans. 19 armor breaks for fucking Dimension C-137. That is baller.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I did get to check out part of this game, and it was the humans standing up for first 6 turns, getting some good defense in, and then the mummies went at it and just started removing pieces left and right. 2 deaths for the humans. That is going to be a big loss. Although, as we saw here, one of them was the lineman that got MVP.
That was brutal.
And then, yeah, the mummies, they are leveled with. It's going to be a challenge now to get around them.
I tell you, man, if mummies are removing people, Undead's unbeatable. Like, if they just start taking people off, especially for a human team, there's just nothing they can do about that. Humans only threw 21 blocks. Undead removed 12 people. That's an entire pitch clear if it was in the same half. Plus 1. That's disgusting. 5 injuries, 2 kills. And that is 81% ball possession for Undead. That is baller. Castry only got 7 SPP, and then Interdimensional, we'll say Dimension C130, they got 7, 9, 13, 21, 27. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Good for
Yeah,
him,
that was
man.
by far the biggest reap of the week.
That's amazing. Jack World Day Laborer is going 1-1 versus Skink Island Boys. Skink Island Boys, that's impressive because Skink Island Boys is just killing the division so far, and he got a level on his block ogre. Way to go, man. Mog the Mule. That is awesome.
That might be the celebrity of the division for sure. With that block ogre, getting skills, punching people. I think he has removed somebody in every game in order to have that much SPP.
I'm telling you, man, when you have a block ogre, a human team goes from kind of like we're okay to like we're awesome because you can count on him to do stuff. He's got 5 casualties already, so that's he's gonna be a fucking menace. 7 armor breaks to 12. Kinky Island Boys got more armor breaks, but the tie is 1-1. Looks like Kinky Island Boys held the bar more and threw more blocks and had more removals, but somehow did not win the game. So I'll be interested to see. That must have been some fancy dice by Drake Roll to stay in that game. Pandemonium's Burger and Havoc's Henchman. Chaos going to a 0-0 draw. I'm sorry,
That
man.
hurts. Both those teams need that development too, and the fact that there's only 12 armor breaks total and no touchdowns, 1 pass, but basically 11 SPP combined for the whole game. That is rough for two chaos teams that really need it.
Would you look at this? They threw a combined 109 blocks and had 3 removals. And they were just KOs.
That is rough. That's like, I'd like my last 2 hours back, please.
Oh my god, that's got to be super frustrating for both of those teams. 0-0, couldn't do any damage, just sitting there punching each other, doing nothing. Look at the SPP, 5-6. Oh man, I'm glad we did not cover that game.
That would be trying, yeah.
How now Brown Drow went to a 0-0 tie against Nurgle's FTTs. What is up with these 0-0 drives? Oh, the Beast got MVP though. That's pretty nice. Picked up guard. 0-0, 10 armor breaks for Chaos, or for Nurgle, 4 for DE, 36 to 34. That's some impressive block numbers against for the Dark Elves. And there's your SPP right there. Looks like 10-7.
Yeah, I'm curious. Let's see, no failed passes. I'm curious how the Dark Elves weren't able to score there. The Nurgle must have done a really good defense.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be a great defense. You would think that Dark Elves will be able to sneak by Nurgle. I started a Dark Elf team on the CCL, and I played like 4 Nurgle in a row. And that's, you can usually get 1 goal in, but that's a tough matchup. The Secret of My Success versus Necromantic Newbies, 2-0 them. With only 8 armor breaks for the Orcs versus 12 for Necro. Looks like both MVPs level. That's pretty nice. Sticking to my success, picking up a Mighty Bulwark and guard for the Necro, which I like. We'll talk about that team later though. 8 armor breaks at 12. 2 passes for the Orcs. Air Orcs. I like it. Necro throwing 64 blocks of 46. That's not unusual when you got frenzy pieces, but only 4 KOs. That kind of hurts. AV9 though, man, you play Orcs, you know they could hit you all day and nothing will happen. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, until you have that one game where you have 4 injuries in the first 5 turns and you just hide.
I started an orc team, and I play orcs every once in a while, and I just throw them up against people. I'm like, remove me. I'm AV9. I just count on that armor to get me through the day. I'm sure it's not the best way to play him. Temples of Aurora versus 3 Mountains. I caught part of this game. Chaos Sublu? Still can't say his name. He streamed it. If you guys check out his stream, he streamed this game. And it was pretty good, man. It was a pretty good game. 3 armor breaks for the High Elves versus only 7 for 3 Mountains. That's not very good.
Yeah, against high elves, you usually can get away with some, especially since they don't have a lot of skills. But this high elf team is the exception in that in their 5 games that they played, they've gotten a lot of SPP, and they're starting to get really blodge heavy.
I mean, look at this guy who won MVP. He picked up guard. So
Nice.
56 blocks and only 5 KOs for 3 mountains. Chaos Sublu's got to be mad about that. He's got to be like, what in the hell? What do I got to do? What do I got to do to remove these guys? 30 for Temples of Aurora with no KOs inflicted. Templars of Aurora, High Elves, they locked. What is that? 11 over there versus 11 over there. All right, and then we'll wrap this week up with. Oh, the 2 bye weeks played each other. That's funny. And they drew, not surprisingly. Not surprisingly.
Nice.
All right, let's check out the leaderboard real fast. Make sure we do that. Chaos Ublu, 3-1-0 versus Geek Island Boys following up. They both tied with the same record there. Have they played next game? Nope. Temples of War played his. Hipster already played his 5th game. He has not lost yet, but he's starting to do a lot of draws. And I'm having that same experience in my division, man. You gotta get these wins. You gotta make these wins happen. Cash True Part 2 coming up. He took that tough loss to Undead. Ruined his perfect season. Look how much his fucking TV dropped to 880. That was brutal. To Secret of My Success, 2-2-1. This is a good looking work team, man. Hanau Brown Drow, 2-2-0. They have not lost yet, so Phaedrus is still right in it. Pandemon Vertigers, 2-1-1, tied with Dimension C137. Tommy Tuto, I'm telling you, man, especially if he has these games where he's removing tons of people, he's gonna be a menace. Chaos Zinnik 1-1-2, Drackworld Day Laborers 0-3-2, still getting it together, and then the Necromantic Newbies bringing it up 1-0-3. So let's get into the teams, man. Who do you got? Who do you got this week?
This week I have got the Necromantic Newbies, which is a team we haven't really covered yet because they didn't have a whole lot of development.
They still don't.
They're on the second page. Yeah. They got that MVP on the white there who got guard. And that's a good first level up, especially since he doesn't have any guard yet on his golems. But yeah, in general, just lack of touchdowns, lack of injuries, lack of SPP. The werewolf getting blocked first is good. You want that double, of course, to get Mighty Blow, but of course, you'll take block first, and then if you still don't get it, you'll probably go with dodge just to have a nice, safe, reliable werewolf to get the ball in.
Yeah.
Stat-wise.
I want to talk a little bit. He hasn't picked up his reroll yet. He needs to do that quick, fast, in a hurry. But
Sure.
I want to talk a little bit about the flesh golems and the whites. Now, there's popular opinion is you get guard first, which is what he did with Zach Sanchez here. He got the MVP. He went guard. I think you should have at least one white. Like one of these 2 guys should be Mighty Blow first. And the reason I think that is that you can't always attack with your werewolves because you will frenzy trap yourself. So you have to have a guy who can punch who doesn't follow up automatically. So I think having one of these guys be a Mighty Blow.
Now, would you go Mighty Blow before tackle? Because that's probably where I would differ, and that I would want a tackle piece early.
It depends on my division. If there's a lot of dodge, then yeah, I'd probably take a tackle piece. I don't know, man. when you have strength 4 pieces, I like to just go ahead. The thing about dodge pieces early on, there's very few dodge pieces that start with block. I mean, there's just one right now. There's War Dancers. So you can usually knock them down if you have block. I don't know. I like to have the Mighty Blow first and then get the, because I think once you get Mighty Blow, you'll get that tackle pretty quick because you'll start causing damage. Um, so I don't know, and that's different. You have the different with the orcs is you have 4 blitzers, so you can pick one and just be like, you're the
Hmm.
tackle guy. He doesn't have that
Yeah,
luxury.
it's true.
I mean, he could take Zach Brooks and give him tackle if he wanted to. That werewolf. Because usually what happens with and a lot of necros have this problem. It's hard for them to find tackle because there's so many skills they need. Like these guys, these top 6 guys, all have desperate skills they need. So it's hard to find a spot to put tackle until your werewolves get them, and that happens pretty
And
often.
I do see a lot of times when you have frenzy pieces, and this happens on all teams really. If you've got frenzy, you just figure, oh, I don't need tackle. I'm just going to keep re-rolling until I get pows. And the hard part is if you're up against a blodge ball carrier, which every ball carrier tries to get blodge first. It's frenzy sometimes is not enough. So that's why I just err on the side of getting that tackle, and the more the better. But obviously, you've got, like you said, other things that you need to get first: block and the golems and guard. I do see a lot of Mighty Blow golems. I'm not a big fan of that, although they are strength 4, so they definitely can get those 2-die blocks and get removals. But I like the guard block golem that just kind of soaks everything up.
So that was where I wanted to go next, actually. So that's a good segue because I kind of want to talk about golems. So Horny Cricket, who's a very good necro coach in Division One, he likes to go block guard, and a lot of coaches go block guard, just like you're saying. I think, and the reason I like block mighty blow first is because golems level so fucking slowly. They don't get touchdowns. I mean, you could give them touchdowns. They're AG too, but they're move 4. And you have everybody else who needs touchdowns. Once he gets werewolves touchdowns, then he needs to get twice touchdowns. And once the Weiss gets touchdowns, he's gonna get 2 ghouls, and they need touchdowns. So you don't. These guys never have an opportunity to score, so they really only get injury SPP and MVP SPP. So if you go block guard, you're stuck on block guard forever. But if you go block mighty blow, you can get to that guard eventually. It just depends on how bad you need that guard. If you have guard on your white, I think it's okay to go flesh golem block mighty blow.
The more successful necro teams, especially you look at playoffs, Hidden Dejection, which has recently passed away, R.I.P. He was the blodge golem who just took a pounding from a whole bunch of black orcs and didn't budge, didn't get knocked over, and block after block after block, and itself can be a winning strategy. But I mean, basically, in my eyes, this is a black orc that has stand firm. And that's good if you can soak up those hits. You of course want to get the SPP there, but to me, the Mighty Blow delays guard for too long because by the time you're getting 31 SPP on this piece to get to that guard, you're going to be up against bash teams that have 5 or 6, and that's going to make it less useful.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's a tough choice because, like I said, it's gonna take him forever just to get to that guard, just get to this next skill, and then if he gets guard, then it's block guard, and that's all he's ever gonna have. It's gonna take forever. So he's got some development to do. He needs to re-roll, and then he needs to get at least 1 ghoul. Sometimes you see necro teams; they'll 2 ghouls. One will be a wrestle tackle piece, so you'll see tackle there, and that's not hard to get. That's only 16 SPP, so. To be a safety. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Skinky Island boys who I want to talk about this week. I've been kind of dancing around them for a while. Weave's got a hell of a squad over here. Let's see. He's got 2 block Saurus already. These guys are really close to leveling. He's got 2 more Saurus that are 1 injury away from leveling. His Crocs is an injury away from leveling, and then he's got a lot of Skinks. One of them is a Blodge Step, but he's got an Armor Bust on him. So let's start there, man. Would you keep that with that Blodge Step Skink with the Armor Bust?
Yeah, absolutely. The all skinks lives are very short existences that know a lot of pain, and so with it being blodge and sidestep, what I would do though is at his next level, if he lives that long, get the diving tackle on him, and then just use that as your ultimate marker of the ball, and then leave it up to the enemy team to remove him. If they can't, then you're going to be in a great position to force a turnover. He does have more skinks though than he really should have at this. it's always nice to have a bench, and maybe you can get away with a couple fouls, which normally Lizard teams don't foul, but normally you don't want to have more than 11 until you get more SPP on your Saurus.
Yeah, so I think he is. I think it's carrying an extra skink too, but because he has one missing game, go ahead and keep it for this week. That gives you one skink bench. Here's the thing about Scorn. I don't think he's gonna get to diving tackle. I mean, AG, he's a AV now AV6 player with Stunty. He's not long for the world. Like I
But
can.
there's not a lot of tackle, and so if he's already got block, I think he's gonna live a lot.
Well, let's just take
He
one.
might, just like Crow did, up in REL1.
Well, Crow didn't have a niggle. That was fair up. Let's check out when does he play Chaos Ublu. Let's see. Week 6 does he play Chaos Ublu? Because that's going to be the one where he's got a bunch of tackle. He's really got to worry about it. Where's he at? Skinky Island boys, where you at? Yeah, he in week 6. So after this week, he plays dwarfs. Um,
That's always a fun match.
so I'm thinking that skink reaches its end somewhere right around there. It's gonna be that's gonna be tough. So anyway, I don't know. You say keep him. I'm thinking maybe I want to fire him. I know he's thinking about it right now because Blodge Skinks don't come around very often, not often enough for a lizard coach's preference anyway. But if he gets SPP, he's not long for the world, man. Stunty with AV6 is it's pretty bad. So I don't know. I don't know about that. I do think if he kills him, if he does fire him, don't replace him because you're right. He's got too many skinks right now. Two block swords. Where do you go? You ever played lizards, man? I've only played a couple lizards a couple
Yeah,
times.
I've actually got a lizard team that's the top of the minors bracket that I'm playing in right now. But yeah, I'm right around 1600 TV. I've got block on everything, and then after block, which I think is where you're going with that.
Yeah.
My first one got doubles, so I made a blodge, and I just got the third level on them, so I made break tackle.
Tackle, of course.
A lot of coaches like that break tackle just to make sure you can at least get one Saurus off to make a blitz. And then the other ones, I try and get my 3 guard pieces, I think is minimum for every team that hits. So you get usually a Crocs will get a guard first unless they get a double, and then Sauruses do that. And then you want to make sure you have a Saurus that can tackle. And so a lot of times you can't really obviously control who's getting the SPP very well, since they're not getting touchdowns. And so you'll see, just like you see here, a couple Saurus just really go ahead of the pack. And those are the ones that you kind of get the skill that you need. And sometimes it doesn't always make perfect sense. You might have one that has guard and tackle, but not break tackle. You just kind of have to fit around what levels and what you need.
When do you get Mighty Blow? Like, I don't know. My first Saurus, I might get Mighty Blow.
Yeah, I mean, Lizards aren't really a removal team. Mighty Blow is great because it does speed up your leveling, but to me, it's a lower priority unless you're up against a whole bunch of low AV teams. You definitely need that tackle to remove pieces or to get hits on the ball carrier if they are available. And then I would say the guard just is so valuable because otherwise they're just going to mark you up. And if you play up against other guard teams, that's how they can eventually get 2 die blocks on you.
So I don't know if you caught this, but I cast Horny Crickets. He's in the he's the season 6 playoff CCL playoffs, the championship ladders, and he's playing. He's a really excellent wizard coach, and he didn't get Mighty Blow. Like he's got one Mighty Blow on his Saurus, and it's like the 4th skill on that guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
he got block, and then he got frenzy, and then he got break tackle, and then he got Mighty Blow. Like he was is deep, and that's his only Mighty Blow piece other than his Crocs. So I mean, I just wondered. Like I said, I don't play him. I know they're more of a control team. So, but he can see he's got this guy's an injury, a Kaz away. This guy's 2 Kazs away. These 2 guys are 1 Kaz away. So this team's about to explode, and this is about to be a really, really nasty Saurus. And once you start getting blocked on all your Saurus at a low level TV, you become a menace to deal with. That's like teams can't handle you at that point.
Yeah, the real weakness early on is just the rerolls. Without block, you're forced to use rerolls on blocks all the time. And then if you've already used your reroll that turn and your skink fails a ball action, which is fairly common, 3+, then you're turning over. Or vice versa, if you struggle to pick up the ball, then you can't block, or you're going to knock yourself down as a Saurus. So once they get block on all those Saurus, the rerolls are then used just for the ball, not for blocks, and you can get away with a lot of crazy stuff.
All right, man. I think this squad's looking good. So I want to talk about one more thing before we wrap up with these guys. I want to talk about the Croc score. Um, I love to get break tackle first, or not first, but as one of the early skills. Usually get guard first because you need guard, and then break tackle is what I used to go. And I talked to Cricket, like I said, who is one of the best Lizard coaches I ever saw, and he likes to go guard, stand firm. And the reason he does that is because he says break tackle is a crutch for bad positioning. So if you have stand firm instead of break tackle, then you're going to be in good positioning. But also, if he puts his Crocs on somebody with that prehensile tail, it's really hard to dodge away. So he's almost like a beast at that point. Like you're stuck there.
Yep. And when you got diving tackle on your skinks, if you compare that with the tail, those Skaven are not going anywhere.
So you agree with stand firm as the second skill there?
Yeah, actually, I would probably do the same thing. Stand firm is very underrated, especially the newer coaches. But the reason why I like stand firm is when they throw a hit at me and it doesn't work, now I get to hit them back the next turn. They don't get to just stay away from me and leave that gap without me or forcing me to blitz them. So you find that when you do have a bunch of stand firm, you get a lot more blocks than you would otherwise.
All right, man. So we'll see what he does. I mean, he's 2 SPP away from his first level, so we'll hope he gets doubles on there. But you guys got to watch out. Division 5, watch out for Weave, man, or Wave, however he spells his name, because he is going to be a beast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. He needs to put his Discord name down here in the comments like I told him. All right, let's go into the highlight matchup for the weeks. I'm going to check out 3 Mountains versus Necra versus the Henchman, Chaos Henchman. We don't have a lot of choices this week because this is a bye week and this is a bye week. And actually, let's talk about C137 real fast. He did a really smart thing. If you guys check it out, he fired all of his unskilled linemen before his bye week. When you have $40,000 linemen is what you should do. So he can make sure that he gets his 2 touchdowns and his 2 MVPs on good pieces, and you can see the squad's going to be really, really good. So I want to talk about 3 Mountains versus the Henchmen. Let's where do you want to start? Let's start with Henchmen first. Let's start with Chaos with their 0-0 tie, 56 blocks and no armor, no removals. So they're going to have, I love this guy, this third eye blind guy. And every time, I know I talk about him every week, and eventually you guys can be like, stop talking about this third eye blind. But he's awesome, man. He's awesome. And the AG Force Beastman, that's going to be worth something. But you notice one thing I noticed this game is going to be tough for Zinnik? He has 0 block.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be up to the dice. If you're avoiding those 1 and 9s, then he's going to have a really solid match. He's got Mighty Blow on a couple on the second piece now as well, in addition to the Minotaur. Is that Minotaur new? I don't remember him having it before. He might have recently bought that.
He has played 1 game.
Yep. Interesting. So yeah, if everything goes according to plan, then Havoc's Henchman can have a great game here. But if things do not go to plan, or if the dice are, balanced, or even not kind, that could also be a real head scratcher.
Yeah, he's got the strip ball on Spike, but that's not going to do him any good against the Dwarves because they have 2 runners that have sure hands. Let's check out 3 Mountains real quick. 3 Mountains will actually get inducements in this game, which is even worse. He's gonna get 100,000 in inducements.
That's probably a good bribe.
Well, actually, he'll get more than that because he's gonna dump 2,000. He's got extra cash right now.
So yeah.
So he'll get 1,200. Yeah, you can get a bribe. What would you do? Would you get the bribe there? I don't get excuse me, I don't get Babes as Longbeard. I love Babes, and that's one of my go-tos. But when I'm dwarfs, I don't get Longbeard or Babes because thick skull. You don't get knockouts very often. So
yeah,
I skipped that. Plus your AV9, so you're not taking that many armor breaks. So probably bribe, man. What else could you get? You can get a team reroll, I suppose, or an apothecary. But he's only got 2 mighty blows, so you're probably not taking that much damage. He's got 0 claw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't. I mean, the Apo protects you from like that worst case scenario where you do have 4 removals on AV9, which you're not prepared for. He doesn't really have a big bench, so that's kind of like an insurance policy if he wants to go that route. But I would probably just spend your pocket cash and take the win.
Oh, you go for the wizard. All right. I mean, he does have extra money. I can see that.
I mean, the wizard, if it does, you get a fireball. I mean, I like the wizard because it basically says go ahead and cage, and it does alter your opponent's mindset and play, and they do start playing a little looser, and that allows you to get in on the ball, even when you're not, pressuring it otherwise.
I don't like the wizard, and I don't like the wizard because I don't like wizard with dwarfs, because I don't think dwarfs can take advantage of a wizard very much. I think well when you spend that much inducements on a something like that like the wizard, you need to be able to not only stop the drive but get the ball turned over and score. And I think dwarfs have a really hard time recovering a loose ball from a wizard. I mean, he does have an AV7 Blodge Runner, so maybe he's a little more adept at it. But I'm not a fan of dwarfs getting lizards or getting wizards in general, man. It's just I rarely see it work for them. So, uh, I mean, if you're just trying to stop them, then yeah, but you're not going to turn the ball over unless you're A, in great position, or B, you're super lucky. I don't think you're getting that ball back from them.
And
Um,
my thing is dwarves aren't usually playing for a 2-0 win or even a 3-1 win. They're playing for the 1-0 win a lot of the time. And so, if it's turn 7 and you're able to just make that ball come loose and kind of kill the drive right then and there, I think that it's definitely worth 150,000 to just ruin the chaos drive and go for that 1-0 win.
well, he's got, like I said, clearly he's got more block. He's got he's got one mighty blow, and then he has 4 guard. So, and he's gonna get 100,000 inducements, and he can spend some extra cash. Who are you taking in that game, man? I'm gonna let you pick first.
I will take the dwarves. I think that the dice would have to be exceptionally in order to get a chaos win here.
I also am gonna go with the dwarfs. I mean, just the 0 block on chaos is gonna come to bite him, and then picking up that minotaur, which is, there's a lot of controversy, and well, it's not actually not a lot of controversy. Popular opinion is don't get a minotaur, but that 150,000 is gonna give inducements to the dwarfs, and I think they're a better team right now, so I think that's gonna be tough. You want to talk about Pandemonium and Necromantic Newbies, yeah?
Yeah, Necromantic Newbies are still looking to get on the board with a win. And I think that this might be an opportunity for them. Actually, they got one. I think it was to a bye, so I take that back. But looking for a win in a live match here. And let's go ahead and jump into. Well, we just looked at Necromantic Newbies, but they've got the 2 werewolves. They don't have any ghouls yet, so they do have all AV8 and they have all regen. And regen, of course, is good against bash teams. And in this case, the Pandemonium Burgers are a chaos team that's going to basically need to get those removals to stick to go forward. And they've only got 2 block pieces, so they actually have a block advantage on the necromantic side. Only 1 mighty blow and an extra movement on 1. So the one thing that the chaos team does have going for them is they have an extra reroll. And if Necro gets forced to blow a couple rerolls early in the half on failed pickups, or if they're just not patient, then that could kind of screw up their drive and stop them from scoring. But I think it's the Necro's match to lose, and they need desperately to get that SPP, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah, they need some development. They need a couple touchdowns. In general, I like early Necro more than and I think early Necro is very difficult to play. So I'm gonna back that up, Yoshi. I know your pain, man. I think early Necro is difficult, but I think one of your best matchups is Chaos, because early Chaos is extremely difficult. Um, I'm gonna go the other way though. I'm gonna go with Chaos. I'm gonna go with Mod Dave. I like these block Chaos Warriors. I think they're gonna be able to stand up and beat up those flesh golems. And this mighty blow Beastman, he's gonna put in work. I can feel it because he blitzes a strength 4, and he's gonna cause some pain, man. He's gonna hit some of those werewolves, and they're gonna go down. So I'm gonna disagree with you. So you're gonna be wrong at least once this week. And that's where we go. Liz, you want to go on Division 4?
Let's do it.
Division 4. All right. All right. Let's go over the scores. I don't think anybody's played in Division 4 yet. Unlucky Skull and Gamba gets. I don't think that game's gonna happen. Gamba he can be tough to get those games in for a while. Let's start off with Rebel Invasion versus the Carnival Freak Show. 3-0 for Squiggy Squad. 9 armor breaks to 7. MVP for Carnival's on his Wolf. That's great. What did he get? picked up blocks, so he's sitting pretty there at least. 9 armor breaks to 7. The Wood Elf's got more armor breaks than the Necro team. That's brutal.
Yeah, look at that SPP line there. And the number of players that got SPP this match is insane. That's almost the entire team.
Well, there's 10, 11, 14, 17, 21, 23 SPP for Squiggy, and one point on Pearl Saber there. I love to make fun of him for that. Only 7 on Necro. That was a clinic right there. 56% ball possession, 27 blocks, 3 injuries inflicted for the Wood Elf team. So Squiggy put on a Wood Elf clinic on that one. Unaccompanied Minos went 1-1 versus Horrible Cliches. Oh, he got an MVP on his Witch Elf though. That's pretty nice for him. What do you pick up? Blodge Step. There you go. Only 5 armor breaks for the Dark Elves, 12 for the for the Chaos Dwarfs. 46 blocks at 37. 5 removals over here for the Chaos Dwarfs. Only 1 for Dark Elves, this is kind of a tough matchup for Dark Elves actually. When I say kind of tough, I mean really tough. 3 passes, 3 catches, 11 SPPs versus more than that, 14. KNG versus Typos Happen. This is more Chaos Dwarfs versus Orcs. Looks like it was a 2-1 to the Chaos Dwarfs from Warboss Zadgrad. 7 armor breaks to 9. 48 blocks to 50. This looks like it was a tight match. More removals for the Orc team, but somehow they couldn't put it all together. 12 versus 11. Go ahead.
I was going to say I would definitely credit that to the coaching. KNG, he's just been out positioning his opponents, even though he's been down in players for a majority of matches, which you can't really count on. I mean, you've got those 87 hobos, but usually you want your dwarves, and his have been on the sideline a lot, and he's still being able to pull out those wins. So it's impressive.
I have played him a couple times. We're in a couple leagues together. In this one, of course, and then a couple other ones. He's an excellent coach. Just a really, really great coach. So I haven't seen him play Chaos Dwarfs, but clearly he knows what he's doing. Communist Frat Party versus the Baywatch Knights went 1-0 to Raven Poe there in his wonky Bretonian team. 12 armor breaks to 11, so it was pretty even. He got 1 kicking in. Both sides suffered a death, so that's unfortunate for them. Let's check out the stats real fast. 40 to 35. This is a pretty close match, it looks like. 6 removals for Raven Poe and 4 removals for Communist Frat Party, which is Nocturnal. Man, close game. Back that one up. What did they get? That was but Raven Poe snuck out the 1-0 win there. Iron Maiden, this is Gengar's team, got whooped on by Lizard Beast, which we covered that game, right? Who did you pick to win that game?
I picked Lizard Beast, I believe, and you picked Gengar, if I recall.
No, I would never do that. I couldn't possibly have been wrong. 12 armor breaks.
Maybe I have it wrong. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, someone will go back and check it out for us. 4 expulsions for Gengar there. That sounds like frustration to me. 12 armor breaks. He did get MVP on his Blitzraw, who got piling on, of course.
That Blitzraw had was it a touchdown and a removal? Is that right?
Did he? Eldardo McBrain. Let's check him out. Oh man, yeah, touchdown and removal on the MVP. So good for him. Oops, I want to go back to that. By Croxagore. Did you notice that the Croxagore? He got the MVP over there, which is fantastic.
Nickel Crocs is missing next game.
He's got a niggle. He's got a niggle and he's MNG. That poor guy. So he might not be long for the world actually, because I'm niggle the Crocs. That can be. You'd think he'd be good. He's AV9, but he's never going to get blocked, so he's going to get knocked down. 7 arm breaks to 12. 39 successful blocks. Only 1 removal for Lizard Beast, and they won. And they won big, so that's impressive.
It honestly looks like, without seeing the game, that Gengar literally just singled out that Croc and fouled him over and over until he got that MNG.
Yeah, like I said, from what it looks like with these expulsions, it looks like Gengar fouled himself out of the game.
Yeah,
ended up losing
happens.
That one. East Trucking Company 3-0 versus Resistance's Feudal. This is a game where we both picked Shiggy, and we were both wrong. So,
No.
So that did not go well for us. Quick scout there. He got an MVP on his Chaos blocker there. We're going to talk about the squad later, though. 16 armor breaks to 4, 2 expulsions versus his feudal. Now, those might be frustration fouls. Things did not go well for him there. Tons of SPP for Ace Trucking Company. What a development game for a Dark Elf, for a Chaos Dwarf team. That's big. They don't usually develop this fast. I mean, I can't even do that math, can I? 10, 12, 14, 17, 20, 22 SPP in one game for a Chaos Dwarf team. Holy cow.
Yeah.
4 injuries, 1 KO. That's a hell of a game. So that's where we're at for week 4. Leaderboard, on top of your leader is Squiggy, and pulling up in the second place is Cake and Grad. And you know what they're doing this week? They're playing each other. We're covering that game.
That'll be nice.
Yeah, man, 1 versus 2. And then Chaos Warface Trucking Company Quicks, he's right behind there. There's actually a log jam here at second place. A bunch of people have 2-1-1 records. Kiwi Birds Lizard Beasts, who we talked about a couple times, they are nasty. Raven Post Baywatch Knights, which he's pulling together with that odd starting lineup that he had. Nocturnal back here comes right after them. Horrible Cliches has not lost a game yet, Monkey Man, and I am eager to talk about Horrible Cliches, but it's not this week, man. It's not your week. I'm excited about talking about that squad. Det Monkey, Chaos Dwarf, we talked about them. They're doing okay. Camry, we got their first loss, which is really good for early Camry to only get that first loss. Warboss Zagarod, who, like I said, we both said is an excellent coach. Only 1 loss, but I mean, this is a really tight division, man. These guys all the way down to here. I mean, Shiggy's got to get his stuff together, but everybody else doing pretty good.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the stat lines that you can check out on the league manager, where they've got all the stats, and that's where the bot populates in Discord. A couple things jump out at me. Mainly Shiggy. He's had 12 casualties or injuries against him, and he's only inflicted 2. And Bretonians need to remove pieces. That's why they have such cheap linemen that they can foul with. And so that kind of strikes me as something that's wrong with the equation. Maybe it's just the dice, or maybe positioning, and I don't know. But that seems rough. And then Horrible Cliches actually has more casualties out against them, 15 injuries, and they've only inflicted 5. So that's not uncommon for Dark Elves, but that's still a lot to take for 4 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys don't know what Superfed's talking about, there's a website called bb2leaguemanager.com, and I'll post that link. I'll try to remember to post that link. You can go, you can see everything. You can see your future schedule. You can see your future opponent. You can see all the stats you need. It's like BB2 Stats Grabber, but a million times better because it's all web-based. Go check that out. You can see where you guys are standing. You can compare yourself against the other divisions. For instance, if you look at like inflicted deaths, you'll compare against all of REL, or you compare against all of Rebel. Man, that's pretty awesome. So go check that website out. All right, what are we doing? We're gonna check the leaderboard. We're gonna go over team review. I'm gonna start with Ace Trucking Company this time. We started with yours last time. Where's Ace Truck? Where's Quicks at?
Top right corner with the level up not done.
There he is, Quicks. I mean, level up not done. It's done on mine.
Oh, it looks like he just leveled up something.
He must have known we're doing this. He's like, I better get this on before Superfed gives me shit about it. Chaos Dwarfs, man, Chaos Dwarfs. What jumps out to me, I mean, he's got all of his blockers. That's awesome. His Bull Centaur's only a touchdown away. What blocks out to me is this guy, 8 Ball, who's got the Claw, which is awesome. You take Claw when you can get it, for sure. But when you get Claw before Mighty Blow,
yeah,
you level slow, man.
Yep. A lot of stuns, not a lot of.
Yeah, so if this guy can be tough to level, but you have to take it. Plus, I mean, look at the Claw on the Chaos Dwarfs. That looks so cool.
What's nice though is he's actually already only 1 MVP away from getting Mighty Blow, and once you've got that Claw Mighty Blow combo, then it goes much faster.
Yeah, he needs that. If he doesn't get that MVP, he's gonna be a while. I like this guy right here, Miggles, Miggles Mastersmith. I mean, you go. I do. Who was it? Was I talking to you the other day about go guard first on Chaos Dwarfs, and somebody's like, nope, go Mighty Blow first. You were saying Mighty Blow, right?
I know. I was saying I always go guard first on all my Strength 3 teams, just because I know the value of a Strength 4 piece, and Strength 3 teams really need guard to equalize that.
That must have been somebody on the advice channel, because I'm in agreement with you. I think you go guard first, and you can see that's exactly what Quicks is doing. He's going guard where he can first. Eight ball got doubles, of course, so he went claw. Um, but yeah, I agree with the way Quicks is doing this. Definitely go guard first. He's got one hobo with sure hands, and I think Dwarf coaches do this so they can have, like, if the game is on the line, they have someone they can pick the ball up with. Because you want to score your touchdowns with these centaurs, I would believe.
Yeah, it takes a while before the Centaurs are really decent carriers. Obviously, you want to score with them to get them to that point, but um, against a really fast team, I want to make sure that the ball is off the ground as quick as possible, and then you can try and hand off once your Chaos Dwarves have a control of the pitch and have maybe removed a piece or two, and is a little bit safer. But the most dangerous time for any team that's going to cage, and of course Chaos Dwarves are one of those teams, is before you get into that cage, and that's of course when Skaven and Wood Elves are going to try and just pray for that blitz or go deep on you. And so getting the sure hands to pick it up, get into the middle of the cage, and then worry about the handoff is a really safe, solid strategy for any Chaos Dwarf team.
Do you take your bull centaurs as hitters, or do you like to build them as ball carriers, or mix?
One and one. I'll have one as the designated ball carrier, and then one as the blitzer, and then really after you've got, because you're always going to have some games where you just have a big numbers advantage, and that's the time when you give the ball to the hitter. But the hitters also level pretty fast too, so they tend to stay together pretty well.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I played a little bit of Chaos Dwarfs. I played them in Sacred Blue last season. Did not enjoy them. So more power to you guys if you do. I had one. They were both my guys were ball carriers. I just felt like I had give me more flexibility, but I really wanted them to be hitters. Like they were both ball carriers, but I wanted them to be hitters, and I hit with them anyway. They just didn't have Mighty Blow.
Mm-hmm.
But block, probably break tackle on both of these guys next, and then either sure hands or Mighty Blow. I think is the way to do that, right?
Yeah, if you can get the palm bull centaur, it feels great. you of course want the claw palm on one of your blockers, and they become the killer at that point. But if you can get just mighty blow block and piling on, being able to run into the backfield and hit somebody from halfway across the map feels great.
I have not seen this bull centaur piling on animation, and now I want to. So I'm gonna have to Google that later. I bet you that looks pretty awesome. So anyway, Quix's team's looking pretty good, man. I mean, he's got this guy's only one away from leveling. This guy's one Kaz away from leveling. This guy's an MVP. So I mean, he's got 3 or 4 guys that are pending levels, and he could get a lot bigger pretty quick. He's already 1310, so he could end up being 1400 within 1 week, man. Within 1 week. All right, let's go on to your squad. You want to talk about?
Kakengrad's typos happen. This is an orc team. We haven't given him the team review yet. I think he was a little bit slower to develop, so we didn't have many skills to talk about. I do believe we talked about the blodge. I remember us having a brief discussion about that. But since then, we've got a dirty player on a lineman. That's great. He does have no troll, which I like the troll as a really cheap big guy, and if you can get guard on him, it's a really effective front line piece, and you don't lose any sleep if he takes hits on the line because he's got regeneration and AV9, so he's just incredibly difficult to remove. The drawback, of course, is he's got really stupid, so you have to be very cautious when you block with him or potentially lose tackle zones. The other thing that really stands out to me is there's one blitzer now that's gotten level 3. Blitzers that are close to leveling right behind him. Life goes on, going mighty blow tackle. I love it. He takes an agility bust, but if that's going to be your killer piece, the agility is not the end of the world. You're probably not going to get dodge. If you get a double, you're probably going to get jump up, which AG2 with jump up is not great, but it'll at least let you get the movement that you want in order to get another blitz off. I don't think you fire him at AG2 as the killer. If it was any other blitzer, you might consider it. But also, since he's half of your development for your team, you probably can't afford to fire him at this point. Other blitzer, good.
I would probably not get jump up only because it's unreliable at 3+. I would just go if because he's AG2, I wouldn't fire him either. I'm with you. I would keep him, but I would not get jump up. I would just stick with normals because normals you can get piling on, you can get guard, you can get
Hmm.
everything you need without doubles. And then later on, when you develop another killer, you can dump this guy, and he's efficient because he's got no doubles. If you put jump up, then he's a little bit more expensive than he needs to be, and that jump up's not reliable because it's on a 3+ instead of a 2 since you took the AG bus.
And I'm never lucky on my killer, so I don't have many jump up pieces. But is the agility roll only on the block when you're on the ground and you jump up and block the person next to you, or is it on any time you get up?
So it's basically if you want to use your full movement, it's the jump up, right? So if you want, like if you like, I'm gonna go from so it's the block, and then
Yeah,
so you can go ahead and select blitz, and it does his
because
movement.
I use my killer on my work team, not for and like I said, I haven't got jump up, so maybe it changes the use a bit, but I've just used them to blitz almost every turn I can. And so if you're blitzing with them, then you don't have that jump up agility roll, and being able to move those 2-3 spaces can make all the difference when you just finished a piling on. But I do
Yeah,
like what you're saying about the TV efficiency, and it is good to have two killers on an orc team for sure. I like to specialize each of my blitzers into a different role, but I'd say the more consistent results are going to come when you have two killers and you can alternate them off. One blitzing one turn and one blitzing the next.
yeah. Let's talk about the troll rule fast. I have played, I don't know, 4 or 5 work teams, and never in a serious league, but I played them in CCL a couple times. I played them in the open league. I get trolls when I want to have fun, and I skip the troll when I want to win. Because I think he's a hindrance, and I think the team is way more reliable, and you don't need the troll. And you can see he didn't get the orc walker either, the orc thrower. Um, so he is all AV9. He's AV9 across the board, and he's very reliable. This is like that old Ford in the backyard that just keeps on running, man. It's this guy is reliable as possibly can be. So I mean, I don't
And
know.
reliable is not having the greatest start of the season. Sometimes you need a little bit more
He's
oomph
he's
in order
in
to get
second
there.
place, man. He's tied for
Is
second
he really
place.
second?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the total record. That includes the spins, so you're probably right.
I mean,
Second.
and here's the thing is low TV orcs I think are really solid. So the longer you can keep your team at low TV, the better it is. Like they play really well to 16, 1700 TV. It's when you start getting to 1800 orcs. I mean, yeah, they hit hard, but then you start hitting 1800 chaos, where claw starts to get you. But I
Oh,
love. Oh, go ahead.
that's what threw me off. Yeah, his spin games were all losses, but yeah, I just for me the troll is good because it secures a field, a part of the pitch where you just know when that piece is there and it's standing, the enemies are going to work around it rather than through it, and that provides a way to play around it, or you can know what your opponents are going to do just by having that one piece there. Whereas if you give them too many options, you're not going to know yourself what they're going to do, and that's going to kind of change the way you play. So for me, it's kind of a mind game component. Just like for when I use wizards, I like to keep my opponent guessing as to what I'm doing and try and know what they're doing as often as I can.
That's good. That's a good way to win, man. AG bus on the lineman, that makes no difference. I like the fouling lineman. So let's go ahead and wrap up Kakengrad. Kakengrad, of course, is my boy. He's on my clan. He's in clan REL. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into it, man. I want to jump into the first matchup highlight game. It was gonna be Kakengrad's Typos Happen versus Squiggy's Rebel Invasion, and the reason I wanted to cast this is because Squiggy is the founder of the Rebel League and the Rebel Rookie League, and Kakengrad is one of the admins and one of the very first students. So this is like student versus masters. This is fucking Mr. Miyagi versus the Karate Kid right here. Let's
I would have gone Obi-Wan and Darth Vader or Anakin, but yeah, works.
Anakin. Are
It's
you
gonna be a good
serious?
match.
Anakin? You're killing me. Anakin's really that's like the worst character in the entire fucking series, other than Jar Jar Binks. Stupid whiny
Well, I mean,
teenager.
if you're going the Master and Apprentice battle, that was probably more, episodes 3 and 4. But yeah, all right.
Moving on. So Squiggy just put a pounding on his last bash coach, and he is coming in. He's got these nasty war dancers, right? He's got Yacinis, and I mean, hold on a minute. Kakengrad's a lineman. So Squiggy named all of his teams, all of his players after coaches in the rookie league, and so Kakengrad's on his team, and
That's right.
he's an unskilled lineman.
It's insult to injury there.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, if you're Kaken grad and you're going up, that's extra motivation. Like, I'm a lineman, really? I'm an unskilled lineman? Let's go. Let's get after it. But look at these chaos, these war dancers. I don't think that Kaken grad has anything for these war dancers. And importantly, Kaken grad's only tackle piece is missing this game.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's gonna cost him. Honestly, I hate the matchup as an orc coach to play Wood Elves. This season, I'm one win and one tie, but lifetime, I can tell you, I tie Wood Elves all the time when I play against them. It's so hard to keep them from scoring, and if you can't force them to score fast enough, it becomes very hard for you to 2-1 grind. Quite often, they'll score in their drive, I'll score in my drive. I'll injure all of them, but I won't be able to stop them from scoring. And more likely than not, just looking at the skill differences here, unless inducements come into play, and there'll be some inducements, trouble finding the team here, but unless inducements really swing things, I would be surprised to see the orcs even tie.
The orcs are going to get 230,000 in inducements.
Yeah, and there's not a tackle orc that you can get so for an MVP or for a star player. So you're not going to want more my blow on your star players either. I would say that you're probably going to get the wizard.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get a wizard and
wizard
a
and a
bribe.
babe.
Why would you get a
Yeah,
babe?
bribe would be.
He's not going to get a babe.
You saw how much Squiggy blocks, and you want all your people on the.
I don't know.
A bribe would help though. A bribe would be good because you've got the dirty player.
I wouldn't get, because I mean, look, he has four dodge pieces. You have no tackle.
Yeah, he's got the pocket. So yeah.
If he gets them on the ground, he needs to hurt them, and he's got a dirty player. So I'm saying get the bribe, and if when one of those AV7 dodge pieces hits the dirt, you make sure no Smorkling gets over there, no Smorking gets over there, and just fucking pounds on him and does it every single time. And that's how you can win this game, because you have to remove these Wood Elves.
Does he have enough to get 2 bribes with what he has in his pocket?
Well,
it might be close.
He can get 2 bribes and forego the wizard. He's only got 8,000 in cash. So no, excuse me, he got 1,200. He's got 1,200 in cash. So if he spends his whole bank, that makes him what 3,500. That's a wizard and 2 bribes.
I don't know if I do that, but yeah, that's going all in for a win here.
Well, I mean, look, I don't think that going all in is a bad move here. If you spend because you're not going to lose any pieces. You're AV9 versus Wood Elves. I mean, unless you get hit by the tree, and even then, you're probably going to be okay. So you don't need to save anything up. You're playing the number 1 team. You're the number 2. You're tied for number 2. I don't hate going all in for the win here. I get that it's a bad matchup, but I mean, if you're gonna spend the money, this is the time to do it, I think. So,
yeah,
or coach, you say Wood Elves are going to win this gun, huh?
Oh yeah, I played this matchup too many times. I think at best he's getting a draw.
Well, my brain, my head says Squiggy's going to win this game, and I agree with you. But like I said, Kakengrad's my boy. He's on my clan. He won his game last week. He's got lads this week, so he's in the right frame of mind. He's gonna make some magic happen right here. So typos happen is gonna pull off the big upset, and the student will become the master. What do you got?
Wish you both luck. I have, let's see, the Lizard Beast versus the Carnival. Where's the rest of their name? The Carnival Freak Show, which is another necromantic team, which doesn't have much development. I'm sensing a trend. Let's see.
Early Necro's hard, man. I'm telling you, it's not an easy team when it's young.
Yeah. So the Carnival Freak Show is Hervis Jasper, who's another coach that you'll often see in Discord. He's got a couple block werewolves.
Some might say
a tackle white and a dauntless white.
I
Tell
think
me what you think about
I
that.
think Dauntless is a very odd choice when you have two Strength 4 golems who can do that aiding for you. Um, no guard. I think, like we've talked about, if you're not going to go Mighty Blow here, I think guard is absolutely. I mean, and guard is the stand way because you want your guard so that your wolves can pivot around those guard pieces. So when they do their frenzies, they always have that guard around them. So I'm not a fan of. I mean, the tackle I can make an argument for, but the Dauntless I see no use for that.
I'm trying to think of where he would be thinking that he wants that. Obviously, I mean, I guess against a lizard team because they're just all strength forward that you're going to be up against. But yeah, I have a hard time looking at the teams that you're playing and saying to myself, I need Dauntless over guard.
But in this
Because
particular,
guard gives the pieces around you an extra strength in essence. I mean, on a killer piece, which is sometimes what whites can be, although the other one already has tackle, you get Dauntless at the very end, if you want the extra chance. But yeah, to me, that is baffling.
here's the thing though. I mean, we poo-poo those picks, but in this particular matchup, the tackle and the Dauntless is perfect because he's
I know
facing.
it's literally the choices for against Lizard. Yeah, it's funny.
It's like
And then Lizard Beast, who
like this is his time to shine, right? He's like, well, I've been waiting all season for this one matchup. I picked these skills for lizards right here.
and that's why this is my match for the week, because there's a chance that this is a huge upset if it works out.
But let's check out lizard beast real quick. I know we did that previously. 1470 lizards who have a mighty blow tackle. But there's no dodge, so that tackle's wasted. That's a wasted skill.
I wouldn't say wasted. You mean against the yeah.
In this matchup,
There's no
it's
dodge
wasted,
on
yeah.
the neck.
So that's just spotting your opponent 20. I mean, the Necro team is going to get they're going to get 380. Excuse me, 380 in inducements. It's amazing.
Morgenthor.
No,
They
Morgan
won't get
420.
Morgan. I hope. Oh, you're right.
You have to spend cash.
I still hope not. I hope if I'm the Necro coach there, I definitely get a reroll because he's only at 2, so you can buy an extra reroll for the game, and then Wizard Bribe probably.
Yeah, I mean,
my feeling.
if he wanted to, he could get the fucking halfling chef, which I don't think is bad against lizards who definitely need their rerolls.
This lizard's got all his block though. I would not gamble with that. What is notable is King Croc is out. We mentioned that earlier. Gengar fouled it repeatedly until it finally got MNG. And so without the Croxagore, there's going to be one less strength, and I think that does potentially open up a spot for Dauntless to come into play.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, so basically, he's got the Dauntless and he's got the 2 Flesh Golems, so that's 4 pieces that can hit all these Saurus. Um, there could be an upset brewing here. He gets the Wizard and some bribes and a reroll.
For me, it's going to be the Skinks. If the not get just obliterated by that one tackle white and the werewolves, which he's got so much sidestep that actually Frenzy is going to be a liability here. But if the Skinks and live and take care of the ball, then Lizards will be fine. But there's still an opening in my mind for Necro to win this.
So you're taking who you taking, man? This is your game. What you got?
I am gonna go ahead and take the upset. I think Hervis can upset this much better positioned TV team if he just takes advantage of whatever mistakes Kiwi Bird makes, and if the Skinks can get removed. I would love to see the upset.
Well, that was stealing my thunder because I want to take the upset. So I am going to take Lizard Beast then. I'm saying Kiwi Bird's like, I don't need a Crocs to beat you. Look at my team. I have all this block. I have more block than you. I have Mighty Blow. I got these skink. I got an AG4 skink. Come at me. So
So you made the correct choice. That's fine.
Yes, I mean, once again, you're going to be wrong, and I feel bad for you, man. That's 2 weeks in a row now that you've just been wrong.
We'll split them, I'm sure.
All right, man. So coming up, this is gonna be a good. Any other interesting matches up coming up next week? There's a bunch coming up this week. I wanted to see Horrible Cliches versus Baywatch Nights. That's gonna be good. Iron Man versus Ace Trucking Company. That's the other highlight game I wanted to I'm interested in seeing. That's two teams that can really hit, so that'll be interesting to see. Camry versus
This
Chaos
is
Dwarf.
this is honestly the next 3 weeks are my favorite part of the season, because nothing is clinched yet. Every team is still trying very hard to win. When it gets to the end of the season, you already know who's going or who's not going, or who has a chance. And a lot of people start playing very differently. But this time of the season is some of the most competitive matches where everybody's chomping at the bit to play their game. You can see that already, with a bunch of weeks rolled over for different divisions and matches already played the first day.
I think
So
Div
yeah,
One's
I'm
on.
really excited to see what happens over the next couple of weeks and who shakes out on top.
I mean, you look at week 5. The official rollover's not till after this video posts, and it's already mostly done in Division One. There's only 3 games left. So, I mean, Division One's
Hmm.
always like that. But yeah, you're right. Everybody's just excited to play their games. So I'm with you. All right, man. I think I am. I think we're all wrapped up here for week 4. You got anything else on the way out the door?
I do not. Thank you everybody for watching.
All right, man. What do you say? Enough will take the wheel.
Yeah, take the wheel.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.